To all who come to this happy place, to all who come to this happy place, to all who come to this happy place, welcome.
So in this video, we're going to go over the psychological lessons that we learned from Avatar. Avatar is a great example of why we as humans love movies. Otherworldly. This isn't a surprise, but otherworldly literally means relating to or devoted to something that's out of this world. Pandora is both a physical and it's a psychological break for Jake Sully, our character. What does that mean for us? As humans, we face problems on a daily basis, and sometimes we physically leave to go to the movies to get a break from reality. Otherworldly things in general excite us, they intrigue us, and they remind us that there's always more to learn about life. Jake learns that there's a whole new world. Anyways, more importantly, he learned that there's a better opportunity to improve his life. What does that mean for us? I think a lot of us want to be like Jake or the main character in our films. Like, we want to live vicariously through them, whether it's a movie, whether it's a book, or whether it's just music. We want to see our lives improve. A lot of people love to watch movies as a way to cope with the problems that they face, and I can't argue with them. Movies teach us life lessons. They teach us how to deal with challenges. In addition, they touch us because we're emotionally invested in the story. Pandora does this wonderfully for Jake Sully and for the audience. Not only does it have out-of-the-world characters, creatures, plans, but even the music and the score behind Avatar is literally out of this world. It's otherworldly. The way the melody is designed is a complete opposite of what you'd expect from this type of melody.
We've set up this expectation, but then we go somewhere else entirely. It's basically a chord that we turn major that doesn't naturally exist, and making this like a whoa. This kind of just feels a little bit otherworldly.
In addition to being otherworldly, there's also a lot of stuff we learn about Jake Sully, but also about ourselves too. That takes us to lesson 2, which is chronically ill, which is a curveball. Now, not only is Jake considered chronically ill, but the mindset he has at the start of the movie is chronically ill. Jake only decides to pretend to be Navi for selfish reasons. Basically, he's in it for the money or the bag, and he's also in it so that he can actually walk again. Now, it's understandable, but primarily these are selfish reasons. What changed him from being selfish to selfless? He went from flirting to falling in love with the forest. In addition, the more he learns about Pandora, the more he learns how vastly different it is from Earth. For example, on Pandora, you don't have to worry about money, work, walking, and you can even fly for free. Why would he go back to his old life? I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. In addition to that, things get further complicated when he falls in love with the people. He learns about the simplicity of life, and he learns that people, they only want simple things and have a deep attachment to their surroundings. He learns how sacred life is, and he also learns slowly but surely from the Terry and from the people, and even from Grace, to take those selfish thoughts that he has and replace them with selfless thoughts. And this reminded me of Pocahontas. I wonder why. Anyways, there's almost a shift in perspective from both the humans and the Na'vi. Instead of viewing people as like your enemy and feeling like you're wasting your time and it's not worth it to learn from people, you learn that Pandora is becoming more and more of a real world, and your real world is becoming more and more like a dream. And ultimately, even though Jake is being told that a lot of the beauty is underneath Pandora, I think Grace said it best.
The wealth of this world isn't in the ground, it's all around us. The Na'vi know that, and they are fighting to defend it. If you want to share this world with them, you need to understand them.
That takes us to lesson 3 and the psychology of beauty. I want to say this nicely, but there's no nice way to say this. Like, why do we love beautiful things, but why do we get scared by things that are subjectively ugly? I'll be honest, I know how I feel, and you know how you feel when you see somebody who's attractive. Heart starts beating, pupils dilate, and you think,
oh man, oh, look at that girl right there. Goodness gracious.
Legendary words from Chris Tucker. Now, whether they're beautiful on the inside is a whole nother story for a whole nother day and a whole nother video. But all that to be said, when you see something that's attractive, put simply, it makes you feel good. In the presence of beautiful things, we feel a broad range of emotions such as fascination, surprise, awe, feelings of transcendence, wonder, and admiration. As the words say, you see something, As the words say, you feel a lot of things when you see something beautiful. It's a tongue twister. Anyways, now what does that mean for Avatar? One thing that no one has said is that this movie looks ugly. Majority of people would say that this movie looks visually pleasing and is very visually aesthetic. Even for 2009, about like 85% of the CGI still holds up today. It kind of has like the Iron Man effect. Like, the Iron Man suit still looks relatively good for being made in 2008. And that's the same thing with Pandora. A lot of people will say what they want to about Avatar. You can say what you want to. You can say that the storyline is familiar, that it gets repetitive, that its characters are forgettable. You can say it's a cash grab, and the list goes on, because nowadays people can complain about anything from imperfections to perfections.
Explain that one.
Most human beings will say that, hey, even though this isn't my favorite movie, it is nice to look at. And I think that's one of the things that just made Avatar blow up successfully. It sucks you in both physically by the appealing looks of it, but also psychologically by the story of being something familiar and relatable to most people. Put simply, that's one of the things that I like about Avatar. It explains the simplicity of life, because life can get complicated, and thinking about simple things can kind of keep you stabilized when your world's going out of control. That being said, that is it. I'm looking forward to The Way of Water, because I really enjoyed that. Once again, these are brief psychological concepts. They're very, very simple and to the point. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, you can give it a like. If you want to talk more down below, feel free to let me know. If you really enjoyed the video, you can share it. And if you're feeling froggy and you want to support the fitness and fandom fam, you can do all three. As always, remember to stay mentally fit, emotionally fit, and physically fit. And I will see you all in the next video.
Naughty.